All right, guys, we're back on the eSports Report. Time to wrap up the show with the standings. Here's where we're at after 3 weeks of MLG CoD League play. Of course, this is week 2, but the standings, a little bit of a shakeup at the top. FaZe Black, they came into the day in that number 1 seat. They fall down to 3rd at a 9-4 record. Complexity takes the top spot, 10-3 with that 77% win rate. And Optic Gaming moving up into the top 4. Who would have thought that after starting the week in 8th place, now 9-4 after a 6-0 week, 31-20 in terms of map count, almost a 70% win rate there, which would put them right next to Envy. You see Curse Orange, they're 2-1, puts them at 500. They're going to move up ahead of Curse Black at 8th place, and Justice, just 8% win rate when it comes to matches. They've had so many close games. In fact, on one of the future ESRs, I want to do a special on Justice. What is going wrong with this squad? They have the potential. They have the talent. They've had so many close games. Where's the clutch factor? That's what they need to find. So plenty of time still left for our squads to earn their top 8 position and earn a trip to Anaheim. However, bottom 4, it's kind of looking scary now for Strictly Business and Justice and Friends. Optic Gaming, you know their fans are happy after their performance. They're looking solid. Can they keep it up? That's the question. We got to show the MVP of the night. This one goes to Scumpy. Look at this. Across the board, Scumpy dominated from FaZe Black to Justice to Curse Orange. He performed 1.45 on the night for the overall KD. 1.47 when it was Blitz and Domination game modes, and then at 1.35 KD in Search and Destroy. He also did some of the capture work. You see 3 Blitz caps averaged per game and 2.75 for Domination. Not as quite as impressive as the stats we saw from Complexity's Aches yesterday, but Scumpy, definitely one of the best performances of the week. Attach was right behind him in a number of those categories. He was actually slightly higher when it came to Blitz captures. Attach, if I could pick a second MVP, you earned it here for Wednesday. Guys, thank you for tuning in for the ESR. We got UGC Niagara coming up tomorrow. It kicks off at 5 o'clock. I'll be doing a bracket show leading up to the action with my good friend Kingdom Soldier. Looking to lock in 1 or 2 more guests as well. So catch all of that live tomorrow right here on the ESR. But before we close out the show, guys, I want to update everyone who might have missed the opening. Lots of Call of Duty talk from Sledgehammer Games. Let's first show their tweet. A new era of Call of Duty arrives May 4th. Where does that take you? Their website, callofduty.com/new-era, has this countdown. What is this image? 2 days, 16 hours, 36 minutes, and 4 seconds from now, we will find out. And of course, they have a new video dropping on the Call of Duty official YouTube. If you missed it, here's one last look before the commercials.
We have this assumption of war and who fights it. And our image is a man in uniform. What motivates them? Well, it must be politics. That must be why they want to go to war. And when you look at the 21st century, it just doesn't hold true.
Today, warfare is waged by new entities. They are known as private military corporations. They are loyal to no country, available to the highest bidder. And for the past 20 years, they've been steadily privatizing war.
I started Blackwater as a way to stay connected to the SEAL teams. Blackwater had the right culture, and we ran very hard when our customers called us. More than 100,000 missions, no one under our care ever killed or injured. We took over a remote base one time, and we did it with 25 guys. And we replaced 166 soldiers, and that's why the company grew very quickly.
Initially contracted as support for the armed forces, PMCs are quietly taking over combat, as governments, regimes, and companies around the world wield them as deadly tactical weapons. Despite their prominence in the headlines, little is known about this hidden industry. We wanted to know more, So we set out on a global journey to witness their operations firsthand.
To be honest, I left the army because the money wasn't good enough for what I was getting paid to do. Why would I do 5 years in Iraq in the army and earn 120 grand when I can do 2 years in Iraq and earn 400 grand? Certainly in my era, anybody who was any good in the army isn't in the army anymore.
As of March 13th, 2013, private contractors represented 62% of the total forces in Afghanistan, setting a chilling new precedent in the nature of military occupation.
It amazes me how many people there are out there who are willing to get involved in this kind of thing. I can make a dozen phone calls, and within a month, we'll have 1,000 guys.
In the 10 years after 9/11, the US government has spent more than $3.3 trillion in private defense contracts. And all that money doesn't just buy the world's best soldiers. It buys access to the world's most advanced weapons. Feeding off of global instability, PMCs have thrived. In fact, the third largest company in the world is a private military corporation, and most people have never heard of them. The day of the private military has arrived. The only question that remains is what happens when the people you pay to protect you get a better offer.
One big concern is a question of allegiance. Who exactly are they working for?
We've seen them work for human rights groups, environmental groups, drug cartels, terrorist groups. They cover the entire moral spectrum. Some people argue that they're already well regulated. That's just false.
Which leads you to wonder, with advanced weaponry, highly trained soldiers, billions of dollars at their disposal, and few regulations, what happens if they stop taking orders and start taking over?